Continual conversion is important for deepening our faith. It's not a one-time thing. Conversion is a continual, lifelong process. Conversion is a turning away from sin and towards God. A person comes to the understanding, and I would say awakening, that his or her sins are offending God, and they want to stop doing that. That is what happened to the saints who are now canonized in heaven. When we turn from sin to God, we are growing in our faith. Most of you probably know the story of the conversion of St. Paul. He's one of our greatest saints. He and St. Peter both have major basilicas named in their honor in Rome. St. Peter's at the Vatican and St. Paul outside of the walls. Paul was named Saul, and he was a fanatical, Pharisaic Jew who loved God, and he hated Christianity because he truly believed they were blasphemers, and he persecuted the early Christian church. In some of the early religious paintings, we have Saul falling from his horse. Well, that's not in the Bible, and that bit of information really isn't that important. What counts is that one minute he was persecuting the Christians, the next he's blinded by a great light, and he hears the words, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" He regains his sight and goes on to be one of our greatest saints and evangelizers in the faith. And even this man, Paul, who was a great saint, said, "Why do I do the things I don't want to do?" Can't we all relate to that once in a while? Well, we're in good company. It's called sin, and we must continue to fight against it. St. Paul also used the images of fighting the good fight and running the race to the end. Other people's conversions are unlike St. Paul's. They're very gradual. For example, St. Augustine, one of our great saints of the 3rd century. He was a great sinner, and he became a priest, a bishop, and a doctor of the church. St. Augustine started to have glimmers of faith, but he was strongly attracted to his sinful ways. Another one of his famous quotes was, "Lord, make me holy, but not yet." So if we want to grow in our faith lives, we have to remember that if we don't do that, we don't stay where we are, we'll fall back. And that can lead to discouragement in our desire to grow in our faith, especially after failures. Maybe we tried praying every day for a whole week, and then we stop for a week, and we feel we can't start over. Yes, we can. Growing in the faith is a daily battle. To paraphrase the great Saint Jose Maria Escriva, find God in the small things, in the small choices, in the small decisions, or you won't find him at all. Don't let discouragement get you down. It's important not to compare yourself with others. We shouldn't say, well, at least I'm not as bad as somebody else. That's a form of complacency. And you don't want to despair thinking you can never be as good as someone else. Who has not heard someone say, well, I'm no saint? And I always like to say, well, I hope you're working on it. One of the great things about our wonderful faith is that it's so rich, it's so beautiful. We never stop learning more about it. I've been at it for many years, and I love learning new things about our faith. I learned a great phrase very recently. It's Latin. It says, nunc cepi, which means, now I begin. It's a great spiritual resolution to want to grow in faith. Start today, nunc cepi, now I begin. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. Conversion must be ongoing. Pray more. Do little things with great love. And in the words of St. Teresa of Avila, nada te perturba, which means let nothing disturb you. Don't get discouraged. Get going.